Sukkah, Perek Daled, Mishnah Daled. Mitzvahs lulav keitzad. How is the mitzvah of lulav performed? Yom Tov Rishon Shel Chag, the first day of Sukkot, Shechal Yos b'Shabbos, which fell on Shabbos. And as we've explained before, the time of the Beis HaMikdash, the mitzvah of taking lulav was doiche Shabbos, which means it could be performed on Shabbos, only if the first day fell on Shabbos. So what would happen? Explains the Mishnah, Moilichin es lulaveim nahar habayis. Those people who wanted to come to the Har HaBayis, to the Temple Mount, they would take their lulavim there before Shabbos. It couldn't be carried, whilst you could perform the mitzvah on the first day of Sukkot that fell on Shabbos, but you couldn't carry it there if it was through Rosh Hashanah. So therefore people would take it there on Erev Shabbos. V'hachazonim makabli mehen. And the attendants would accept from the individuals their Abba Minim. And the Tiferes Yisrael points out that the people would bind together their esrog together with the rest of their Abba Minim, so they would have their whole set passed across to these attendants. For Soidrin Oison, these attendants, these Chazonim, they were called, they would arrange them al gav itztava, on benches. Bartanura points out that there were benches in this area, Nahar HaBayis, and these benches had a canopy on top of them to shelter the benches from the rain, and they would place these Abba Minim on the benches themselves. V'hazakenim, the elderly, weaker people, who were worried about the following day and how many people would be there pushing and shoving, manichim es shelohem belishka. They would place their Abba Minim in a special chamber reserved particularly for the elderly. Umalamdim oisom, and these attendants would teach all the people who had left their lulavim there. Loimar, to say, kol mishe magia lulavi biyodei, anyone who tomorrow will obtain my lulav, because there would be so many, harihu loy b'matona, it should be his as a gift. And the reason for this, as we've learned previously, on the first day the mitzvah is lochem, ulakachtem lochem bayom rishon, it must belong to the individual. And to ensure that they were performing the mitzvah with their own lulavim, they made this statement saying that whoever receives my lulav, it should be theirs. It therefore won't be borrowed, it won't be stolen, it's theirs. Interesting. We mentioned in the previous perek where people again would be taking their lulavim on Erev Shabbos to the various shuls, and it mentions there that every person should recognize their own the following day, and this statement that we've learnt here isn't mentioned there. The statement that whoever gets my Abba Minim, it should belong to them, and the Tosfos Yontov points out that the reason was in this Mishnah, this is Har HaBayis, and there were so many people, it was inevitable that people may get someone else's Abba Minim. There would be a mixture of Abba Minim, unlikely that you would get your own Abba Minim, and therefore it was necessary to make the statement that anybody who receives my Abba Minim, it now belongs to them. Continues the Mishnah, Lamocha, the following day on Shabbos, Mashkimim uvoim, people would get up early and come to the Har HaBayis. V'hachazonim, and again the attendants, Zorkim oisom lifneim, would throw the Arba Minim, towards all the people that were there. V'hei machatfin, and people would snatch. They would be pushing, shoving. Umakin ish esreyehu eschavero. Each person would strike his friend, pushing, hitting their friend to be able to get Arba Minim. U'kushero Bezdin shebo lidei sakona. When Bezdin saw that it was coming, it was becoming dangerous. Hiskinu, they instituted, shehi kol echod v'echod noitel bebeisai. People should not come to the Har-Habayis, but every person on Shabbos, every person should take their Arba Minim bebeisai in their own home. This concludes the Mishnah.